Thrill of Possibility is a fantastic card for this deck because it can actually trigger our alliance on their turn. We can draw 2 cards, which means it triggers if I want to play this on their turn. So I could opt on my turn and then play the Thrill on their turn. That's a problem. That's a problem. What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for clicking on my video today. I really do appreciate it. Today is a fun one. This one is going to be all about milling, but not your typical Demir mill that you guys have been seeing all over the place. Not your typical mono blue mill. Today, we go Izzet. We go Izzet mill, Izzet draw, we don't know. See what I did there? Anyways, so today's deck is going to revolve all around drawing additional cards to mill out our opponent, which is going to revolve around this Teferi's Tutelage card. But before I get started, you guys know the drill. There are some links in the description below that lead to all other social medias, such as our Twitch channel. Be sure to follow that because we do go live every single Wednesday. And also, if you're not subscribed, be sure to do so because we do post videos every single week, upwards from 2 to 3 a week. So if you guys want to be notified on when videos go live, be sure to subscribe. Also, if you're subscribed to the channel, you're 10% more likely to hit Mythic this month. And that is a fact. So it must be true, right? Anyways, don't forget to subscribe. Let's talk about the deck, and then after that we're going to get into some gameplay footage, and then after the gameplay footage we'll talk about the deck, how it played out, and maybe some things we might change about the deck. I think there are a lot of really cool alternate cards that could be ran in the deck, so stick around for the ending because I've got some ideas. So, kicking this deck off, we'll start here. Like I said, the deck kind of revolves around Teferi's Tutelage. This is our main win condition. So basically, we're going to try to get the Teferi's Tutelage down and just draw an absorbent amount of cards. I don't even know if I used that word correctly, absorbent, but we're going to use it. We're going to go with it because it sounds right. We're going to draw a ton of cards, and it's going to end up milling at our opponent. So if we can stack this, that's obviously the most ideal situation. But that can't be the only way we, try to win a game, because if it doesn't work, we have to have backup plans. Also, milling our opponent kind of leaves us open to being attacked, and our face is wide open for a chin checking. So we have to make sure we're protecting ourselves, and there's multiple ways we do both of those things. So starting it off, we have 4 opt. This is a very cheap, very efficient way to draw a card, and it allows us to scry as well. So this one was kind of a no-brainer for me in this deck. It made a lot of sense with Teferi's Tutelage. It's easy mana, so if we ever need to throw a Teferi's Tutelage down and we have 4 mana open, then we still have a play available to get a value out of our Tutelage before it gets removed off the board somehow. So opt is really, really strong in that it's so cheap. So keeping with the idea of cheap mana cost, we have a ton of 2-drops. Frantic Inventory. We're going to run 4 of these. I'm sure you've been seeing this. Excuse me. I'm sure you've been seeing this all over the place lately. It's starting to become like a draw a card instant of choice these days, because what happens here is when you draw a card for 2 mana, that doesn't sound great, but once it's in the bin and in your graveyard, the next one you play, you draw 2 cards. The next one you play, you draw 3 cards. And with so much mill going around, and we get into a couple mirror matches of mill ourselves, Frantic Inventory becomes a very powerful card. If a couple of these ends up in the graveyard, you're going to get a multiple card draw for 1 turn. Now, here's where we talk about alternate win cons and defending ourselves. Vantress Gargoyle is a fantastic card here because not only is it a huge body for a 2-drop, and we can usually defend our life total as long as our hand has 4 cards or more. Granted, that's kind of tough to do. We do have options to draw multiple cards a turn, so it's not impossible to keep 4 cards in our hand at all times, but this will come in play as a defender. Pretty early on, our hand should have 4 cards, so it'll at least give us some time to set up what we're trying to do. So Vantress Gargoyle, very, very good. Try not to forget about it's a secondary effect to mill a card on your opponent's or anybody's turn, really. Make sure you don't forget about that effect. I think I did forget about it a few times in the gameplay because I'm not too familiar with playing this card a lot. Also, it can attack if you have 7 or more cards in your opponent's graveyard, which should not be that hard to do either. And then next up, Blitz. So the Blitz is one card I ran in my last deck. It was a Grixis deck. I fell in love with it. I think it's fantastic because this deck runs pretty much all instant sorcery speed cards. So this card's going to stack up really, really quick. Again, we're up against a meta that's full of Dimir rogues. So this card is going to be very, very powerful more often than not. So, and its exiling effect is awesome as well. You get to exile things off the field instead of just removing them. So very cool card. And then here's one that I thought would fit really nicely into the deck. It's another removal spell for 3 damage, but it also has an ability tied into the end of it where if you want to discard a card, you can draw another card, which ultimately triggers our Teferi's tutelage effect to mill some more. So the whole idea is to mill and draw cards, so that's the way we're going to do it. So Fire Prophecy, another really great removal tool. So that's 6 removal spells right there, more than enough to hopefully keep the board clear. You have a big defender and a big body out there, but if all of that fails, we'll skip a card here. We have Improbable Alliance. Improbable Alliance is great because not only is it just a 2-drop, but it creates fairy tokens that have flying. So a lot of decks that I struggled with early on here basically came through the skies and was just wrecking me because this was built originally around the Kraken and it just wasn't working out because it was so low to the ground and it took a while for us to produce the Kraken. So Improbable Alliance was a really nice way to just get a bunch of chump blockers out there to protect our life total. They're not there to attack and go wide and win the game. They're strictly there for a wall purpose, just to create a bunch of chump blockers that can't, no one could get over them, and they have flying. So it's very, very powerful in this deck, and it also has a tacked on ability there. As you can see, if late game comes and we don't have any ability to draw, it has a built-in draw effect ability. And then we have Thrill of Possibility. This one's awesome. It took a while for me to run this one in the deck. This was our latest addition to the deck, but it's awesome because I thought about it, and Improbable Alliance wasn't doing us a whole lot of good on our opponent's turn unless we had a multiple card draw with Frantic Inventory. Because if you read this card here, it's when you draw your second card each turn, you produce a fairy token. So on their turn, if I were to opt, there's no fairy token. It's when I draw my second card. So Thrill of Possibility was that card for me. You save this, you hang on to it, and try to play it as much as you can on your opponent's turn. That way you can trigger another fairy, and then on your turn you play those things like Opt that generate only 1 card draw. So that is why we have that there. And then we wanted to run Jace. Jace was kind of one of those cards I really, really wanted to run because we haven't seen much of him in the meta. And I feel like it's such a beautiful art piece, honestly. I didn't run it because I think it's the most, crazy cool planeswalker with all of its abilities and whatnot. It's very cool what it does, but it's not very powerful. If you can kick it, this card can produce a ton of card draw every single turn because it's not just one, but there's 2 planeswalkers our opponent has to deal with and get off the battlefield. So you're going to get value if you can kick this because even if they have ways to deal with your planeswalkers, typically it's 1 turn at a time. So you're going to be able to protect at least one of your Jaces to produce at least 2 card draws off of this. So pretty sweet planeswalker, at least for this deck. So we did opt to run 2 of these in here. Up next, we have Valakut Awakening. Secret MVP here, guys. You're going to see that this card wins us some games. I was only running 2 of these at one time, and I wasn't even playing them because I didn't actually quite conceive how strong this deck is, or this card is, tied in with Teferi's tutelage. This actually wins us, I think, a game here in one of these plays. You can refill your entire hand and draw like 6 cards in one go. And you can even play instant speed, which means you can play it on your opponent's turn, triggering an alliance fairy. So very strong card. Even if you don't want to, bin the cards that are necessarily in your hand, you still should do it. Just get them back into your deck. Draw a fresh new hand because it's just the draw effect in that is like, like I said, drawing 4 to 5 cards, 6 cards, even sometimes. Teferi's tutelage mills for upwards to 12. That's just too good a value. And if you have 2 Teferis out there, GG's. That's a one-shot kill almost every single time. And then we have Seagate Restoration, another double card that has a land on the backside. This one's pretty cool too. I don't think we had an opportunity to use it, but another really cool secondary effect where you can draw a ton of cards in one swoop. But this one's cost is pretty hefty in its sorcery speed. So typically we're going to use this as mana, but there is that off chance that it could be really good in a surprise little play. So all right, we're up on 9 minutes. That's pretty much exactly where I'd like to be. Here is the mana base. It's pretty simple: 8, 8, and Pathways, and 2 Temple of Epiphanies. So that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know I did. We had a lot of fun playing it. Some really fun games in here that kind of go back and forth. And then at the end of this video, like I said, we could talk about some things that we can, you know, add and take out of the deck. If you guys want, stick around for that, because I do have some additional ideas that this deck can play. So stick around and enjoy the rest of the video. We'll see you. Peace. All right, we have ourselves an Izzet Draw 2 deck, also known as an Izzet Mill deck. You can do a lot of things with this deck. You can call it anything you want, but it is a very, very strong deck. I was playtesting it already, and I do have really high hopes for this deck, so very excited about this one. Very excited, more so because the ban list actually just happened this Monday. New bans just came out, so hopefully we're not going to run into all the sweaty decks we're used to. All right, I'm going to play some blue mana. They're on some Izzet stuff too. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they got. There's no way this is a mirror match, is it? If it is, it's definitely not like our deck, because we kind of just threw some stuff together, and I feel like it's pretty unique. We can pretend we're just mono blue at the moment, drop a gargoyle, and then we'll drop the red source on them next turn. Really surprise them. Oh, okay. Oh, double shock. Okay, I am more than happy. Anytime our opponent has to double shock something, it makes me smile a little bit, because with the double shock, they're using 2 cards against my 1. So value for us, check. We'll take that all day. So they're on some spell stuff. So like instant sorcery spells, just to kind of hurt what we got going on. I'm gonna go ahead and tutelage here. Strong possibility it gets countered maybe. This deck is weird. I'm not sure. Let's tutelage. Shoot. Okay, no counter spells. Sweet. So it is gonna be a lot of shocks and things like that. We could drop a Blitz. I don't foresee a lot of creature spells coming out here. A lot of draw, a lot of shock, all that good stuff. We might see a Seagate. The creature, I believe it's 1/3, but it copies instant speeds or sorcery cards. It doubles the targets. We might see that come down. Not sure exactly what their win con would be here. We'll see. Maybe they're a mill deck like us. Who knows? A fellow mill mage. I hope you're all having a wonderful day out there as usual. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today and checking out the channel. Anyone who's new here, welcome. I hope you guys are all enjoying. Man, are we really being roped again? That's crazy. I don't know if you guys saw the last video we put out. Well, we got roped to a conceding, so that wasn't very fun. All right. All right, cool. All right, let's see here. What do we want to do? Maybe another one, and then we can opt. That's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and drop this down first, though, as a red source. Then play the tutelage. That way we don't screw up the mana there. Beautiful. And I'm okay with actually discarding that land. That's fine. And let the millage begin. With 2 tutelages on the field, we've pretty much got this locked down. As long as they can't remove them off the battlefield, we've got this pretty much wrapped up, because we can draw so many cards. That's a problem, for sure. But I think we can race them. We're gonna win the race. I think they're definitely on some millage though. 100%. They're gonna find a Teferi's tutelage next, and it's gonna be a problem. Gargoyle, that's good. We can go the route of smashing their face. It's always a good route. Do we play them both right now? I mean, that's 10 damage. Or do we hang on to the inventory? I think we hang on to the inventory. I think we mill. I think mill needs to come first. Attacking needs to come second. Because we're already so far ahead on the milling. What do we got? 45 cards to their 29. Yeah, we knew this was coming. We already had an idea that that was going to be a thing. This can only deal damage to target creature, so unfortunately we can't go face with it. That'd be nice. We could actually get crafty though. We can hit our own gargoyle with this and discard the blitz, because we are not going to need the blitz. That's the thing. Okay, that's fine. We've got mill on mill action here. Oh boy. Oh boy. And just like that, they're coming right back. 41 cards, 21. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 cards. Wow. That's a big hit. That's a big hit. Okay. Not one inventory hit the graveyard there? Unbelievable. Alright, well. I'm gonna get creative here. I'm gonna do what I was saying earlier. I'm gonna go here. Yes. Discard this. We don't need a blitz. Blitzes are not, they are not the way. This is not the way. Oh man, cannot believe that they got this down. The insight. Okay, they do shock our gargoyle. That's fine. Not the end of the world. We're more concerned about drawing cards here. So where is our card draw engines? All right, let's kick it off with an opt. We got to just do this now. We got to go. So kicking it off with an opt. Oof. 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 See, I want to scry here now just to make sure that my inventory hits. But if I hit with my inventory, if I do that and I find something, I have nothing I could well, let's try it. No, there's nothing I could have played. That doesn't make... God dang it. What am I doing here? Opponent's going to be able to mill 27. I have a feeling pretty much that's a given, I think. That's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate that we hit a land. Unbelievable. All right, here we go. Can they do it? Can they do it? They're drawing 2 cards here. That's super good. They got 3 more lands. Whew. If we could just survive this turn, I think we got them. They're down to 2 cards. I'm pretty sure we can make that happen. Oh man, are they gonna do it though? This is a race. Let's go. Oh no, the poor guy or gal. They just drew themselves into their own mill demise. Wow, they just dropped a Frantic Inventory for 3, which this basically makes it 6. They only had 2 cards left in their deck. Oh man, they were close too. They were close. But yeah, they were too close to the end here. Basically, the fact that their card engine, their draw engine was like ours, is what kind of cost them the game, because there was nothing they could have done. Any cards that would have drawn them cards would have caused the same effect to happen. So, man, that feels bad. We pretty much had it won, and I didn't even realize it either. I didn't realize that we actually had that game won way before we even knew. Feels bad, man. I hate to kind of poke fun at it, but that last game, what makes those games feel extra nice is when you get somebody who puts good game way before the game's over as a way to just kind of mock you. It feels good to win those ones. Something special about those ones. All right, we're going to keep this hand. This one's not a terrible hand. We got a couple alliances out to Tutelage. Maybe we can get these alliances down and just start chump blocking. Hopefully this is a creature deck that would play into our favor a little bit. We would like to see another land. I would like to hold on to my Seagate Restoration if possible. Okay, that's a target for Fire Prophecy. I'll take that. Let's see if we can't draw a land first before we go any further. I'm gonna drop the other alliance. We don't really need to. Okay, we did hit a land. Sweet. Sweet. Another land. Sure. Yeah, sure. We will take it. Then we get Teferi's Tutelage next turn and hold up an Opt on their turn. So that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. We don't get a second trigger to our alliance if we take that line, but beggars cannot be choosers. We're off to a very strong start here, though. Very, very strong start. 2 cards to the graveyard. We'll get in for 1. Get in for 1 just because we have another blocker here that could actually kill the Triton, so they're not going to swing in anyways. Okay. Fiend Artisan. So we're up against some sort of mono black devotion deck. That's kind of cool. Something I've been trying to put together for a while now. Haven't been able to figure it out. But I do know that Fiend Artisan is the way to go because with all the mill decks out there in the meta at the moment, you can't go wrong with that card. It's just going to get bigger and bigger every time. The only good news for us is that we run Improbable Alliance, so that's a pretty good counter for it. It's not going to be able to do anything as long as we can chump block it over and over again. Let's go ahead and drop this down for some red. Let's go and opt now. That way our alliance can trigger. Gargoyle. We don't really care. I kind of want draw cards. I want to be able to mill our opponent out. I think milling our opponent out here is the key. The game said, nah, screw you, man. You're getting a gargoyle no matter what. You don't want a gargoyle? Too bad. Fine, I'll take the gargoyle. So be it. So be it. Seagate Restoration could be pretty good here. We have 4 or 5 lands. We need 2 more lands for this to be good. We could just hit the Improbable Alliance's draw and discard a card ability down at the bottom of it. It's pretty strong. If you're ever deadlocked like this and you don't have a play, if I draw into something kind of useless like a land, I could go ahead and hit the Alliance draw and then just create another fairy token. Ooh, Murderous Rider. Okay, sure. Sure, why not? I kind of want to hang on to the Blitz. I know you guys are probably like, why aren't you using the Blitz to kill something? It's because with the Improbable Alliance, we have to draw and discard a card. I'd much rather discard this than the Seagate. So we could just chump block these all day, so it's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal at all. That's huge. That's a big one. Okay. I'm going to actually play this now. That's fine. Perfect. We found another tutelage. So the real milling is about to begin. Created ourselves another 1/1 fairy. These are just basically doing their jobs. These are just out here to do exactly what it is they're doing right now, which is to just protect our life total while the tutelage do their thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? $26 cards. All right, no attacks. Oh man, I know it's kind of off topic, but man, am I glad it's October, man. It is getting so nice out. It's gonna be 100 again this week for us here, but man, it's gonna get down to 80s next week. It's gonna be so nice. I love the smell of October, like the autumn breeze, man. I love Halloween. Halloween's my favorite holiday. Can't wait. Gonna watch some scary movies all day this week. As much as I can. Probably watch a scary movie every night. But I do have a show we just started. I know guys are gonna think I'm crazy because I'm always late on these trains and these fads, but The Boys, we just finished season 1 yesterday. I'm about to start season 2 because everyone keeps talking about it, so pretty excited about that. I gotta get through that soon. Opponent swings again. 13 damage. That would really suck if I couldn't block that. That would really suck. All right, we hit a Gary. Let's go. Fire Prophecy. Take you out. You know what? I should have took out the Triton because that's going to go back in their library. It's just one more card we're going to have to deal with milling. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not enough. We need 2 more lands. We would have needed all those lands to pull off the alliance. So we'll hang on to the Thrill of Possibility for now, and then we'll be able to play it next turn. We're sitting really nice though. I mean, we're basically top decking right now, but that's all we really need. We've got the board state pretty much controlled. There's not much they can do to get through our wall of fairies, and yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good. They drag to the underworld on one of them. That right there is a sign of desperation, because that doesn't do much. Unfortunately for our opponent, that does not do much at all. Thrill of Possibility is a fantastic card for this deck because it can actually trigger our alliance on their turn. We can draw 2 cards, which means it triggers if I want to play this on their turn. So I could opt on my turn and then play the Thrill on their turn. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, well. That is certainly something you can do. What a nice card. What a fantastic card. Oh boy. See if we can't get this win here, because if we can't, we're in a lot of trouble. Okay, Frantic Inventory is something I can play, that's for sure. I say let's play it now in case we find something good, you know? I want to try to get him milled out by the end of this turn. Is it possible? I mean, it is possible. We just got to find something good here. That's something good. GG's, we were able to do it. GG's. Well played, sir. Good game. Ooh, good game. Sorry it had to end that way, but man, you had a really nice comeback story there about to be drawn up. That was pretty scary. Holy cow. A little terrified there. I thought we were gonna lose. Let's go. Oh boy, that was a close call. Oh, that Awakening land is pretty sick, man. What a game changer to just be able to basically throw everything back onto the battlefield like that. That's crazy. All right, this is a definite keep of the hand here. This is a very, very strong hand. Gonna drop down the Temple. I will take all the ops I can get. It's a free draw card. Basically, it's 1 mana, so it triggers a Teferi's Tutelage. It's a fantastic combination. One mana, and they're triggering priority. Oh, I see. Okay. Hey, they can't swing in, though. That's good. Look at that. Gargoyle is doing its job for the time being. Up against the Mere Rogues, though. This is not the matchup I wanted to see, honestly. This matchup might be pretty tricky. I'm going to need to find some removal spells here pretty soon. I do like that I have both Tutelages in my hand, though. That makes things nice. They're scrying too, which is a waste. That's good for us. They should have known better to do that with the Gargoyle sitting on the field, right? They put both on top. Yeah, that was a big mistake on their part. Beautiful. That's the card. That's honestly the card I wanted to see because I would rather discard that than anything. So that makes me feel good. All right, we're gonna end turn. We still have 4 cards in hand, so we can still block. Blocking is key here against this Enforcer. We got to keep our life total high because they can get pretty aggro with the Rogue deck, to be honest. All right, cool. They let me play another turn. Nothing played. No lands dropped. Feels like we're gonna win here. Smells like a W. Smells like a W. All right. Ooh, okay. We're gonna draw. It doesn't matter really because we're gonna play blue land regardless. I'm gonna keep the land in hand, I think, though, for 1 more turn. Yeah, I think for 1 more turn we're gonna keep the land in here because we want to be able to block. Because if we don't block, I mean, they're gonna need 4 mana to pull it off, but there is the Thief that can steal things from the graveyard, and I do have a Jace in here that they can steal, so blocking might be really important here. So keeping 4 cards in my hand as long as possible before I start attacking could be very important. Does that trigger 8? It sure does, huh? Nice move. Nice move. But you know what? I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. We're gonna outmill them, so protecting the health is priority number 1. Priority 1, protect the health. Priority 2, millage. Oh, can't attack or block unless it has 8 or more cards. Yep. I ran that card for a while in my deck. It's a very good card. All right, let's go for an opt. That's a good card. This is gonna have to kill the golem once we get enough cards in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and play this for blue. Let's play Frantic Inventory. How we doing? 33 cards, about to be a lot less. All right, then we got the opt to play, so we're gonna just play that on their turn, because why not? They're gonna mill us, so we wanna make sure we can hit this on the end step. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna draw the card once we play it anyways. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me, guys. I actually just ramble a lot, and when I have to talk this much, you know, occasionally things are gonna slip out of my mouth that just don't make sense. It's bound to happen, you know? All right, opponent has 24 cards left. We're getting pretty close. We can actually pull this off, I think, in the next turn or two. Woo, that's a big boy. That's a big boy. How many cards is that? That actually might get us the win here. Let's find out. The Awakening is sick. Watch this. I think we're gonna play it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna draw 6 cards, which is 12 mil per Teferi. That's GG's. That's GG's, my friend. My friend, that is GG's. I'm sorry, it's over. It's over. Oh, they felt the pain and they said, I don't want to watch myself get milled down to 0. And I don't blame you. GG's, my friend. Man, with all these mill decks all around the place, I'm digging Izzet the most, honestly. I'm not just saying that because I'm making the deck. I do think Izzet's the most fun. I just think there's a lot of cool, unique little tools about Izzet mill that's really fun and exciting. I love the Awakening card. I feel like that, like you guys saw that last game, this could be a one-shot kill with a couple tutelages on the battlefield. So I love this deck. It's feeling nice. Going second here against Rakdos could be aggro, could be a problem, could be an L. Let's find out. Hopefully we draw some more land though, because I would really like to save my Awakenings if possible. I think I'm going to opt here just to make sure that we get our mana. Opponent hasn't played anything yet, which is a good sign for us. That is a land. Yeah, that's a land. We'll keep it. Could bite us in the butt if we don't keep it. I like having Alliance here in this matchup. Like I said, I think this is going to be heavy creature based because typically Rakdos is that. It's aggressive. It's mean. So we're going to do that. And maybe even play a second one next turn and tap this in. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that until our opponent shows us what they're up to. I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're going to have creatures. So 2 alliances down. I think that's the way to go. Now we can focus on maybe getting some milling going. Them not playing anything though is making me very nervous. Oh, okay. Okay. There's the first play, and we're going to actually feed that because it's going to be able to be replayed if our Teferi's tutelage starts to mill them, but it is what it is. Do we want the gargoyle here? More than likely we do, right? More than likely we want it. We'll say go. What do they got there? They got the mauling and then another land. That doesn't really give us much. They're clearly on some discard action though, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a rankle come down, which is fine. We've got the blockers producing to take care of that situation. Chump block those all day. All day, every day. They don't stomp me, which is odd. I figured they would probably want that stomp off, right? And then they could have stomped and played it. Seems like maybe a misplay there. Jace is going to be super good here if I can kick it. Let's go ahead and Fire Prophecy and see if we can't kick Jace next turn. Okay. Gargoyle's going. Frantic Inventory strong here. I could play an end step their turn. Wish it was for 2 though, because then the Alliance would kick in again. I don't want to play the Awakening as a land here. Maybe I do. Maybe I want to just make sure I ensure that Jace can be kicked next turn. I think Jace being kicked is more important than anything. So let's do that. We're probably going to lose a card. So let's keep the inventory as an option to lose, to discard effect. Because that Crocs is probably coming back down on the battlefield. More than likely. Jace is more than enough to get us back into this game though, this matchup, because we're going to be able to scry and draw cards every single turn. It's going to be a race. They're going to be going after our health pretty heavy once that Croxa hits. It's going to be whoever can do what they want to do faster. And I think we can mill them faster than we can die, so we got a nice little wall here to protect our life total. That Croxa is going to deal 3 though every time we discard. So there's that. Kind of gets around what we're trying to do here. Jace is going to be our saving grace. We gotta keep our Jace alive and keep it pumping in cards. Are they not going to play their? They're not going to play their Croxa? Okay. Seems like an odd thing not to do. Are they? They may have been afraid to get countered, which I don't blame them, but I would have definitely played it. All right, well, now I'm forced with some options here. I still think kicking Jace here is the most important thing to do. Kick Jace. What is opponent thinking about at the moment? That's a really cool land, I can't lie. I kind of like that. Kind of like the artwork there. It's interesting. I can never go back though from playing these lands. These full art lands are they're just the bee's knees, man. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. That's pretty savage. All right, let's get, ooh, Tutelage. Don't mind if I do. We don't really need Fire Prophecy. Triple Tutelage for sure. I will keep the land in our hand. We don't need to play it because, again, discarding effects. I'm gonna go ahead and start going in because we got quite a bit of damage here sitting on the field that they can't really deal with. Plus, they're not gonna get anything out here with haste. I don't believe they could, but I doubt it. I'm willing to bet that they won't. You won't. You won't do it. Man, that stinks. We were going to get a lot of card draw off Jace. Now we're just going to get a bunch of scries because we got to pump it up first before we can trust to draw with it. Ugh. Pain in the neck. Pain in the neck, bro. There it is. We're discarding the land just like we said. That's fine. So who is going to lose first? Are you going to run out of cards or am I going to run out of health? Let's find out. Scry 2 first and then we'll drop our Teferi's Tutelage. We want something though that we're going to discard, to be honest. Yeah. Let's draw that because we're going to discard it. We don't need it. We do not need it. I'd say 3 Tutelages is going to be hard to beat in a race. It's gonna mill pretty quick. And I could still go over the top for 4. I mean, we might even beat them on damage. We have so many little 1/1s out here that they can't block because we're going over the top. More than likely, we might actually kill them before we mill them. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, by the way. All right. 3 Crocs is in the bin, though. Not fun. If they make me discard here... Oh, they are going to make me discard. What am I saying? How did I not see that coming? So what we're going to need to do is then we're going to need to draw a card with Jace next turn. And then play the Thrill of Possibility by and discard whatever it is we draw. Uh-oh, do they got 2 removal spells? That would really suck. I didn't anticipate that. Oh, okay, we're fine. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. By fine, I mean we're not fine, but it is what it is. Okay, we really gotta get going here. Will Crocs attack? Okay, it does. I was gonna say they should attack because they're gonna discard a card out of my hand. Easy chump block for us though. Alright, drawing a card here. Hoping for the best. But more than likely we're gonna play Thrill of Possibility here. Oh, yep, Thrill of Possibility it is. Unfortunately, our Jace died. I was hoping to get one more turn out of it. 21 cards. Okay. This is instant speed, but also it's worth a lot more the more cards that we actually have in our hand. So let's just sit on this until the next turn, and we should be able to mill them out. As long as we can survive this next turn, we should be able to win the game, hopefully. They have 12 cards. This will be 1, 2, 3. So 6 mil per card. So 12. Yeah, that's exactly enough. That would be exactly enough. So we just have to survive. Oh, we are going to have to discard a card though, aren't we? Shoot, I misplayed that maybe. Maybe we do it now. Oh, yeah. If they're going to play this and swing in, we're definitely going to have to play this now, I think. Okay. What do they got? What do they got? 4 cards left. All right, that's 6 damage to the face. That's not good. Discard a card. We're probably gonna have to discard the Fire Prophecies if I'm being honest. They have 4 cards left. I draw 1 card off the top. That's 2. That's 4. Okay. Regardless, we get our opponent milled out next turn just based on our single draw. So I'm discarding the Fire Prophecy. That way I don't take an extra 3 damage from the land. Even though they're gonna swing in and I'm gonna take it anyways. Just trying to be as smart as possible about this. That's another 6 damage, and then they swing, they win. Wow. We were so close, guys. We were so close. All we had to do was survive that. That was it too. Look how close this was. Look how, yeah, we're I mean, we'll lie, but we're not really happy. But look at this. They were fully tapped out. All they had left were their attack step. They would have swung in. I would have blocked both. That's still an additional 3 damage we would have took from Croxa 2 though from that swing in, which would have basically been -3. But that is as close as it gets, man. We were so close. Feels bad, man. Oh well. GG's. All right, everybody, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that gameplay footage. Sorry we couldn't get you the W there at the end on that last game, but it was a hard-fought battle, and it would this deck is a lot better than I thought it would be, and so I'm very excited to show you guys this one because I feel like if you guys play this, you'll have some success on the ladder with it either way. So I hope you enjoyed the gameplay footage. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about maybe what we liked, what we didn't like, maybe some things we could change. So up first, I think that the Gargoyle didn't really pay off the way I thought it would. It didn't really pan out in the way that I thought. Maybe, hey, we can get some aggressive attacks off, maybe threaten their life total and even take them out that way. It was removed pretty easily in a lot of different spots. So this card right here is a give or take. You know, you can keep it here, you could take it away. I really don't think it's going to affect the deck that much. I think our main win con there was Teferi's Tutelage, at least in the games that we played. And so it kind of stinks though because it's our secondary win con, and I don't like only having one win con and you know, praying for it to work, because that's kind of dangerous. You know, if it fails, what do you got, what do you got left over, So the Gargoyle's there for that reason, but it didn't actually come into play too much for us. And then also, we may have a little too much removal. It came in handy, absolutely came in handy, but maybe some more draw cards effect just to make sure that we hit our what we need in the deck. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys maybe some other options that you can run and get away with and have some fun with. So this card right here was originally in the deck when I first started it, Deliberate. It's a pretty cool card because what it does is you scry 2 and then you draw a card. So if you do want to just run Teferi's Tutelage, it's a nice way to set up to make sure you can find it because you get to scry 2, which is nice. And it's at instant speed. And now I know there's Omen of the Sea and you're probably like, why wouldn't you just run Omen of the Sea? You get to scry 2 and draw a card as well, but then you can also scry an additional 2 if you sacrifice it. Well, it doesn't synergize with the deck as well as the Deliberate does because the Deliberate is an instant. This is an enchantment, and the instant buffs up our Blitz, which is kind of a key card here. So that's why I would say Deliberate. It's pretty strong here. Again, Ominous Seas is what we were trying to originally create as our secondary win con that we traded out the Vantress Gargoyle for. So that's always a really cool card if you want to switch that out. A lot can happen with that. You got a lot of options there. But I found that our Kraken took a long time to resolve and get out on a battlefield, and then when we did, it was getting brazen borrowed, and it was just breaking my heart, to be honest. And then let's see, let me go ahead and dig a little bit deeper here. There were some other cards I wanted to show you. Into the story, another very cool card that will give you 4 card draw, which is insane and really helps with that Teferi's Tutelage. But you need to get 7 or more cards in your opponent's graveyard to get the 3 mana taken off the top for how much it costs. So this one is also a little tough because we set up Teferi's Tutelage on 3. Typically, we're not going to start milling till at least turn 3. So Into the Story doesn't become viable until late game. So if you have it in your hand, it can get a little bit problematic. But another really cool card to think about. You could run a Conundrum in this deck too, just to get a quick 8 off the top of your opponent's deck, and then this might be viable. That's some options there. Also, you have the Pyromancer, also was in the deck originally. I played around with this deck for a very long time, guys, so I have a lot of different options you could do here, but Pyromancer was pretty good. The only problem I have with it, it's a 3-drop, and I know that sounds weird, but in this particular deck, a 3-drop with Teferi being a 3-drop kind of killed the tempo, kind of made it clunky and hard to play. The tempo was just off, and I caught myself playing the Pyromancer and it getting removed, and then an entire turn was just wasted when I could have been setting up for my mill. So maybe you might have better success with it. I think this card is sweet. I think it's super hard to deal with, being a 4 toughness, and it just basically, starts destroying our opponent's field because it deals 3 damage to any target, even face if you want to. So that's another cool one. Another card, this is probably the last one I'll show you, Go for Blood. This card is pretty sweet because it could be another removal card that you can replace one of these with. Go for Blood is basically your target creature you control fights another target creature you don't control. That one I would say you do need the Gargoyle to be on the field, to really get the full effect of it. But what's great about this is if you can't find your Gargoyle and you don't actually end up fighting and getting rid of something off the battlefield, you see that cycling there at the bottom? Perfect. So you can just cycle this away. That's technically a card draw, so you're good to go, and you start triggering all your other stuff. So there you go. I don't typically have that many cards to suggest there at the end, but a lot of cool ideas there. I do think that this right here was the most fine-tuned version I played and the most success I had with it. It seemed to play the smoothest. Again, I think Gargoyle can go though, and we can maybe throw in some low to the ground stuff. You might even, I'm sorry, I'm going to suggest one more. I'm on one right now. Nadir Kraken, another card I play tested with. Again, a 3-drop, kind of clunky. Also, it costs more additional mana the more you start drawing cards to create its effect. But at least it's low to the ground. It's a heavy hitter. You can switch it out for the Gargoyle. Probably, honestly, the same amount of setup it takes to get it going. And it gives you more chump blockers. So that may be an option. But that's it. I promise. I'm done. I'm done. We're going on 6 minutes on the exits. So let me go ahead and just say, everybody who's here, thank you so much for making this far in the video. Special shout out goes to you. Serious love from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you who watch my videos and make this real and a possibility. We're up to 606 subscribers by the time I'm talking to you guys right now. That's incredible to me. That's amazing. We are on the road to 1,000 though, so if you're not already subscribed and you're still here, please, I beg you guys, just hit that subscribe button. It would mean a whole lot to me. And that's it. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm gonna do the best I can to post another video Friday. We'll see what we can do, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.